If Gunn wanted to give Snyder the gratification of finishing his trilogy, it could definitely be done in the form of animated original Max. What? Oh, animated? What are we doing here? Wait, you can't say the A word. Wanted to bring up this little article right here because it was kind of interesting. I was like, wow, okay. I'm not the only one thinking about this kind of stuff. And this goes back to, of course, a couple of weeks ago when James Gunn and Zack Snyder, of course, took a picture together just to kind of troll the internet. They knew that the internet would explode when they posted that picture. Mainly it was James Gunn's idea to do it. Zack agreed to it, but Zack, of course, did not post it himself, even though if he would have done that, that would have blown the internet up twice over. He doesn't always post every selfie that he does. I mean, he took a selfie recently with a certain individual, did not post it, but but of course everybody's just going to be, oh, well, the reason why he didn't post the James Gunn selfie is because he actually hates James Gunn. Not the case. I was tagged in this article that came out yesterday, actually, and it's from comicbookmovie.com. Could the Snyderverse be revived under DC Studios' multiverse? Huh? We got Chandler McNeil that wrote this article. And then under the little tagline, the Snyderverse is most certainly dead. There's no denying that, but the multiverse allows the endless possibilities that could eventually lead to a comeback of sorts for Snyder. So let's just kind of break it down a little bit right here. And I love this first little line right here. I mean, no words are truer than this right here. The Snyderverse, a very controversial topic. It invokes electronically and physically loud voices, both for and against its existence, even years after it has clearly ended. I mean, that no words are truer than that. Now, no matter how you feel about the Snyderverse, that is 100% true because it invokes passion, whether it's full-on hate for the Snyderverse or full-on passion for the Snyderverse. Then Gunn posted a picture with Snyder to his X account. Naturally, the internet exploded. What could Zack Snyder and James Gunn possibly be doing together? Are they working on a partnership? Is Snyder directing a new movie? Is the whole Snyderverse returning? The duo, of course, knew exactly what they were doing. Gunn even said so in an interview with Screen Rant. And then, of course, the quote where he talked about how they knew he was going to be blowing up the internet. Basically, they were trolling all of us. However, like everyone else, the picture got me thinking. Obviously, Gunn is not going to hand the reins he currently holds over to someone else, especially someone who he essentially replaced. But if Snyder came back, what could it be for? It's possible that Snyder could direct a standalone project within the DCU, but then an idea dawned on me. I like how he used dawn, right? Okay. Gunn is clearly perfectly fine with greenlighting projects that exist outside of the main DCU timeline. The Batman is a prime example, as its sequel will likely come out before the DCU's Batman gets his own movie. Another example is My Adventures with Superman, an animated series set outside the DCU in which Jack Quaid voices the Man of Steel. Another animated series is going to be set in the same universe called My Adventures with Green Lantern about Jessica Cruz, one of the more modern Green Lanterns. It's unclear if Starfire, and another animated series aimed at a younger audience, is going to be set in the DCU. We already know that now. I talked about it on Wednesday, so maybe when this article was being looked at, Starfire is an Elseworlds story. James Gunn did confirm that. If this many movies and films are being developed as multiverse titles within the DCU, why not the Snyderverse? So now we go along here. Here's where it starts getting a little spicy. So say what you will about Snyder's line of DC movies. Of course, Man of Steel, BVS, Justice League, being a producer on Wonder Woman. But most viewers had something to like and dislike about the projects, myself included. Casting in Snyder's films was either great or horrible. I was a big fan of Henry Cavill as Superman and Ben Affleck as Batman, but hated Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor and thought Ezra Miller was an odd choice for The Flash. I had problems with the way some of the characters were written, like Superman's lack of hope, but loved others like Cyborg being the heart of Zack Snyder's Justice League. Regardless of one's opinion of Snyder's DCEU movies, there is definitely a huge audience that would like to see the continuation of the stories he had planned out. The sequel and threequel of Justice League, while there was some strange choices like Batman and Lois Lane having a baby, sounded very intriguing. The Riddler was going to solve the anti-life equation. Themyscira would be destroyed. Superman would succumb to Darkseid. Deathstroke would team up with Batman, Flash, Cyborg, and Mira. Batman would sacrifice himself, and Flash would go back in time to save the world from Darkseid after Justice League fails to stop him. That sounds like a story I definitely want to see. A big problem with this is that it would conflict with Gunn's own slowly developing universe. After all, Warner Brothers can't have a revival of an old universe stepping on the toes of a new one. If Gunn wanted to give Snyder the gratification of finishing his trilogy, it could definitely be done in the form of animated original Max. What? Oh, animated. What are we doing here? Wait, you can't say the A word. Oh my God, you're going to be flooded with a bunch of angry fanboys. I may just be missing things, but I haven't seen something on Max that I actually wanted to watch since The Penguin. That's not good for Max. Max's number of subscribers isn't bad, but putting out new DC content could get them more. Putting Snyder's continuation of Justice League on Max would guarantee there is no theatrical competition, and making it an animated feature would further put it in more of a niche category than theatrical releases, meaning there would be essentially no competition between universes. If Gunn and Snyder chose to do this and it was successful, other continuations of the Snyderverse could come to fruition as well. An animated sequel to Man of Steel would draw lots of attention. I'm sure it wouldn't be hard to get Henry Cavill back. A Batman story could be told that continues to use Ben Affleck's Batman. The storyboards and details for this movie were leaked or talked about a while back, and the story involved Deathstroke hunting Batman and Batgirl across Gotham and eventually killing Batgirl. Affleck's suit was going to be much more high-tech version of the Batsuit than past iterations, and the movie was said to be full of action. It may be hard to get Affleck back, except maybe to direct, but the story sounds like it was very cool. While the flames of the Restore the Snyderverse movement have all but died out, well, depending on where you're looking there, buddy, there are those that definitely would cheer at Snyder's return in any form, but an equal number that would sneer. Of course, this is all pure speculation, just for fun. The most likely scenario is that there are no plans to bring Snyder back, and the picture with Gunn and Snyder together was released only so people like me would look further into it, and blah, blah, blah. And then, of course, he asked, what would you think about Snyder finishing his trilogy in the form of animation? Animation, what? Yeah, that's right. Wouldn't that be crazy if they actually did talk about it? When they met together, wouldn't that be crazy if they did even maybe just went like, well, maybe we could do something where we should think about animation? Because again, Zack, part of the business, yes, he was supposed to tell a full 5-arc Superman story. He was supposed to be guaranteed that a decade ago, 10 years ago. He was guaranteed more than that, probably more than like 12 years ago. He was supposed to be guaranteed that after Man of Steel was deemed a success and they were going to do a follow-up, it's like, all right, well, what's going to be next? And then when he started building the grounds of like what was going to be next, it was going to be like 4 more movies, at least 4 more movies to tell this Superman story arc. And he was guaranteed that then, sure. But of course, the business is the business. And then of course it got a little sloppy. It got a little nasty. It got a little just shitty when it came to everything that happened, but at the same time, the goal, the actual goal in the past, obviously, when it came to 2017 to 2020, for 3 years, the goal was to try to get the Snyder Cut out. Anything else was a bonus. And Zack knew this 100%. I know he knew this. And yes, I know he said that if he could do more, he would do more. Sure, absolutely. But at the same time, he knew that there would be a challenge to do even more, and that's why he was always open to the idea of animation. Because if you can't get everybody back, which he knows this, you can have a voice actor to basically play that voice. So if we can't get Ezra Miller back, because obviously Ezra Miller probably wouldn't come back. I'm just one of those crazy Zack Snyder fans that wants to see the conclusion of the story, and live action is just, slim to fucking none. It's just not. It doesn't seem. Now that we're coming up this month, we're coming up on 4 years. We're coming on 4 years since the Snyder Cut was released. 4 years, and there's not going to be any movement. There's a whole other universe that's going to be happening. But if you could do something in animation form, and it sounds like a lot of things that are animated when it comes to DC Studios are ELSEWORLDS. So we'll see what happens. But I get it, live action or nothing. That's what I'm gonna get right there. But hey, what can he do? What can he do? But that was just my little spiel like that. So